As the city watches nervously what's going on a few miles away in Westminster. Our chief economics correspondent Hugh Pym has spent the morning in the Square Mile to assess the mood of the city.
The financial markets, as much as anyone, want to know who the new occupant of number 10 will be. They're watching and waiting and getting ever more edgy. This morning, workers arrived in the City of London trying to take on board the latest twists and turns in the political drama. For most of them, the key question is, will a stable government emerge ready to take painful decisions on tax and spending? Leading share prices fell back as political uncertainty lingered and dealers tried to work out what it meant for the economy.
The market's hope is that we get a strong government that can put in place a budget and start to take action on the deficit. The market's fear is that we can't get that strong government and that we're going to be in a very uncertain period with a lot of fragility, and it won't be possible to take the strong action that's needed to reduce the budget deficit.
The government's bond price is a bit like its share price. Early on Friday, as votes were still being counted, there was a sharp drop with worries about the hung parliament. On Monday, the price was steady, but fell after Gordon Brown's announcement. So far today, prices have hovered as Mr Clegg's negotiations continue. Britain needs foreign investors to fund a chunk of government borrowing over the next few years, so how they regard the UK is important. And right now they're getting increasingly confused about the state of play here.
Because of the problems in Europe, that's served to deflect attention away from the pressing economic problems that we're facing here in the UK. And now I think the focus is shifting back. There's an immediate concern about forming a government, but there's a broader concern about the ability of the government to bring down the budget deficit, to take the painful measures which are required.
The message from the markets is clear. A government making the right noises about the deficit needs to be formed soon, and the clock is ticking. Hugh Pym, BBC News.
Well, our business correspondent John Moylan is in the city. And John, so far the city is holding its nerve.
Yeah, but of course, we always say the city markets don't like uncertainty, and that's exactly what they've got. And today has been a more difficult day on the markets. The main index, the FTSE 100 index of the top 100 companies, has been down around 1.6, 1.7% all morning. Has to be said, though, most people think that is mainly to do with what's going on in Europe rather than what's going on here in the UK with the hung parliament. Up until now, as you say, the city has been prepared to give the politicians time to sort all of this out. But there are signs that for some people, tensions are starting to rise and their patience are running out. One of our biggest business organisations, the IOD, has this morning released a very strongly worded statement saying that business growth and the economy have been forgotten in all of this horse trading that's been going on, and that to allow political reform to overshadow the creation of a government demonstrates a lack of statesmanship in some of our politicians. Strong stuff indeed.
John Moylan, thank you very much. It's coming up to 1:20. Our top story this lunchtime. David Cameron says